Hey, TikTok fam, what's popping? It's your girl, Queen Z, live and direct. Z's voice boomed through the room, her phone's mic making every word sound extra bold. She had carefully arranged her space to look like a luxurious apartment, gold accents gleaming, soft lighting glowing. But little did her followers know, it was all an illusion. Tonight, we're serving looks, honey, she announced, twirling in a stunning gown that screamed rich auntie vibes. Her smile sparkled as she struck a pose. The comments flooded in faster than ever. Slay, Queen! You're killing it! Where do you get these outfits? Thanks, loves! This dress? Oh, straight from Paris Fashion Week. Yeah, I keep it casual. She laughed, but inside, she knew the truth. It was rented. The comment section went wild. Yes, Queen Z! Slay! You're so gorgeous! Z smiled, basking in the admiration. But seriously, you guys make me feel like a queen every single day. You're my family. But what her fans didn't know was this glamorous world she showed online wasn't real. Still, she played along. After all, this was her job. As an influencer, the motto was simple: fake it till you make it. Stay tuned, because things are about to get real. Zena Johnson, better known as Queen Z, was a TikTok sensation. She had the kind of beauty that made heads turn: a tall, stunning figure, flawless skin, and a sense of style that screamed expensive. But behind the perfect image was a different story. Though her followers believed she was rich, the truth was far from it. Her parents didn't have much, and Z did everything she could to maintain the glamorous lifestyle she showcased online. Some of her designer outfits were borrowed, her luxurious wigs given to her on credit in exchange for tagging sellers in her posts. The flashy lifestyle, carefully staged for the camera. Fake it till you make it was Z's motto. She had created an illusion, a world where she was a wealthy, carefree influencer, and her followers ate it up, wishing they could be like her. One evening, as Z was performing a viral dance routine for TikTok, her mother, Mrs. Johnson, watched with a heavy heart. She had seen her daughter build this online persona, and it worried her deeply. Zena, Mrs. Johnson called, her voice filled with concern. This life you're living online, it's not real. What happens when people find out the truth? Zena rolled her eyes. Mama, you don't get it. This is my job now. It's called influencing. I am an influencer. Fake it till you make it. That's how it works. Mrs. Johnson frowned. But what happens when the fake falls apart? What will you do then? Zena let out a frustrated sigh. Mama, you're so old-fashioned. This is the future. One viral video, one big brand deal, and I'll be set for life. Then I won't have to fake it anymore. Mrs. Johnson sighed, shaking her head. Zena, there's more to life than online fame. Don't lose yourself in this illusion. Remember where you come from. But Zena wasn't listening. She was too caught up in the fantasy she had created. Zena often visited expensive restaurants, but not for the food. She would snap a quick photo, captioning it with something like, "Breakfast at this 5-star hotel, living my best life." Her followers had no idea she'd leave the moment the picture was taken, never even ordering the meal. She did the same with luxury cars, posing next to them, pretending they were hers. She'd share the photos on Instagram and TikTok, creating an image of wealth and success, when in reality, they weren't hers at all. It was all about the image she wanted to project. One day, Zena received an invitation to an exclusive influencer event at a high-end club. The room was filled with social media stars, wealthy entrepreneurs, and top influencers. This was her chance, the moment she had been waiting for to prove she belonged among the elite. Dressed in a stunning designer gown, Zena walked in with the confidence of a queen. Cameras flashed, and she posed effortlessly, her radiant smile lighting up the room. Her heart pounded with excitement as she took a selfie with a famous beauty influencer and immediately posted it. Networking with the best in the business. This is just the beginning. Blessed luxury life, she captioned it. As she was replying to the flood of comments from her followers, she accidentally bumped into a man. Without looking up, she quickly apologized. But instead of annoyance, the man chuckled. It's not every day a beautiful woman bumps into me, he joked. Zena looked up and met the warm, confident eyes of David, a handsome and wealthy businessman. He was instantly drawn to her beauty and charm, and before the night ended, they exchanged numbers. Soon, their casual conversations turned into late-night calls and fancy dinner dates. David was completely captivated by Zena, and she made sure to document every special moment on social media. Her followers watched in awe as she lived what seemed like the perfect love story. Then one evening, David got down on one knee and proposed. Zena, without hesitation, said yes. To her, this wasn't just love, it was a dream come true. David was her ticket to the luxury lifestyle she had always craved. She wasted no time flaunting her dazzling diamond ring on social media with the caption, "Marrying the love of my life." Instantly, her notifications exploded with congratulatory messages, admiration, and even envy. But not everyone was happy. David's parents had their doubts. "Son, that girl is always online, dancing, showing off her life. How can she make a good wife or mother?" His mother asked, concerned. But David brushed off their worries. "You don't know her like I do. She's more than just her social media presence," he insisted, unwilling to hear any criticism about the woman he adored. The wedding was nothing short of a fairy tale, a lavish, extravagant event, streamed live and shared across all of Zena's platforms. From the designer dress to the luxury venue, every detail screamed wealth and status. After the wedding, they jetted off to the Maldives for their honeymoon. Zena made sure to capture every magical moment, posting videos and pictures of their candlelit dinners, yacht rides, and breathtaking sunsets. "Living my dream life, #luxury honeymoon goals," she wrote. To the world, she had it all: love, wealth, and fame. But was it truly the dream she had always imagined? But after the honeymoon glow faded, reality began to set in. David started noticing small things, things he had ignored before. He began to feel like a stranger in his own home. Zena was always on her phone, busy with social media, chasing likes and followers. Meanwhile, he was the one left to do everything else. One evening, David came home from work, exhausted and hungry. He dropped his bag by the couch and looked around. The house was a mess. Dirty dishes piled up in the sink, clothes scattered everywhere, and the living room looked like no one had cleaned it in days. And there was Zena in the middle of it all, dancing in front of her phone, recording another video for social media. Frustration built up inside him. "This is not okay, Zena," he said, rubbing his temples. "The house is dirty, I'm starving, and you're just dancing?" Zena barely looked at him, still focused on her phone. "Babe, calm down," she said with a little laugh. "I had a long day too. Making content is not easy." David sighed, trying to keep his cool. "Zena, did you cook anything?" he asked, hoping for a different answer this time. She looked up, rolling her eyes. "Cook? Babe, I'm not your maid. If you're hungry, order food or hire a chef," she said, flipping her hair. "I'm an influencer, David," she added, her voice full of pride. "This is my job, creating content, building my brand. That's what I do. If I'm not filming or posting, I'm not working. Don't you get it?" David took a deep breath, trying to keep his temper in check. "Zena, this is our home. We both live here, and we should take care of it together." She sighed dramatically. "David, I'm a queen. Queens don't cook or clean. They get served," she said, smirking as she went back to scrolling on her phone. "Maybe we should get a maid to help around the house." David stared at her, feeling tired in a way that had nothing to do with work. He wasn't asking for much, just a little effort, a little care. But Zena didn't seem to care about anything except social media. Without another word, he walked to the kitchen, took out his phone, and ordered takeout. That night, he ate alone, and after he finished, he washed the dishes, again. But something inside him was changing. His patience was running out, and so was his love. Years passed, and David and Zena still had no children. At first, David didn't think much of it. Maybe it just wasn't their time. But as the years went by, doubt started creeping into his mind. "Why haven't we had a baby yet?" he wondered. Whenever he brought it up, Zena always had an excuse. "Let's wait on God. When it's God's time, we will have our baby. Let's enjoy our life first." What David didn't know was that Zena had made up her mind long ago. Nothing, not even pregnancy, would ruin her carefully crafted image. She was terrified of losing her figure, scared that motherhood would push her out of the spotlight. Being an influencer was her life, and she couldn't afford to be absent, not even for a second. Secretly, she took birth control pills, making sure David never found out. One evening, while searching for his missing cufflinks, David opened a drawer in their bedroom. His eyes widened as he saw a familiar-looking pack hidden beneath some clothes. He picked it up, his heart pounding. Birth control pills? The truth hit him like a punch to the gut. He stood there for a long moment, his mind racing. She had lied to him for years. That night, he confronted her, his voice tight with hurt. Zena, tell me the truth. Have you been taking these? He asked, holding up the pills. Zena's face went pale. For the first time, she had no clever comeback, no excuse to hide behind. David, she swallowed hard. I was scared. I didn't want to lose everything I've built. David's chest ached. Everything you've built. What about us? What about the family we planned? Tears welled in Zena's eyes. She had never seen him this broken. I'm sorry, David. I didn't mean to hurt you. I promise I'll stop. I'll change. True to her word, Zena finally agreed to stop taking the pills. Months later, Zena became pregnant. David was overjoyed, dreaming of the beautiful future they would have as a family. But for Zena, happiness came with worry. She wondered how pregnancy and later being a mother would change her looks, her lifestyle, and her online presence. When she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, Andre, something inside her softened. For the first time, she felt a love deeper than anything she had ever known. She held him close, sang to him, and watched him sleep for hours. It seemed like motherhood had changed her. But the pull of social media was too strong. Within weeks, she was back online, phone always in hand. She posted a video of herself dancing with baby Andre, just weeks after giving birth. Just like I never left. Motherhood in a beat, she captioned it, smiling at the camera. David watched in silence, hoping she would find a way to balance being a mother and being an influencer. But things only got worse. Zena became obsessed with getting her pre-baby body back. She skipped meals, took slimming teas that weren't safe for breastfeeding, and pushed herself too hard. She focused so much on looking perfect that she started to ignore Andre's needs. She spent less time holding him, feeding him, and playing with him, always too busy chasing the next viral post. One afternoon, David came home from work and heard Andre crying loudly from his crib. His heart pounded as he rushed to the nursery. There he found their baby lying alone, his diaper full, his tiny face red from crying for too long. Zena, David called, his voice filled with worry. No answer. He searched the house and finally found her in the living room, sitting on the couch with her phone in her hand. She was smiling brightly, completely lost in a TikTok live stream. Hey guys, work from home life, right? It's a juggle, but we make it work. She laughed, while her baby's desperate cries echoed in the background. David's heart felt heavy. He had ignored so many signs, hoping things would get better. People warned him about marrying a TikTok queen, but he believed she would change once they had a family. Frustrated, he walked over, took the phone from Zena's hand, and looked straight into her eyes. His voice shook with anger and pain. Zena, you're so busy with your phone that you don't even hear your baby crying, he said. Which is more important, TikTok or your own child? Zena sighed and rolled her eyes. David, stop overreacting. You knew I was a content creator before you married me. This is my job. David clenched his fists, trying to stay calm. Andre has been crying for so long. He needs you, Zena. But instead of showing concern, Zena grabbed her phone back. I can do both, David. You don't understand. My followers expect content. David looked at her, his heart breaking. He had done everything to make this family work, but it was clear. Zena cared more about social media than her own baby. Without another word, he picked up Andre and gently changed his diaper. But as he did, a deep sadness filled him. His mother had warned him about Zena, and now he wondered if he had made the biggest mistake of his life. One afternoon, Zena was outside by the pool, live streaming for her TikTok fans. She laughed, danced, and read the comments as her followers cheered her on. Hey babes, look at this weather, perfect for a poolside party, she said, flipping her hair and striking a pose. Inside the house, little Andre, now 3 years old, woke up from his nap. He rubbed his sleepy eyes and called out, Mommy? But the house was silent. He climbed out of bed, his tiny feet making soft sounds on the floor. He walked to the back door and pushed it open. It wasn't locked. Zena had forgotten to close it while setting up her live stream. As soon as Andre stepped outside, his eyes lit up when he saw a black cat walking through the yard. Excited, he whispered, Kitty, and followed it. The cat jumped over a small fence and disappeared into the bushes. Andre wanted to see where it went, so he crawled through a hole in the fence. On the other side, he found himself in another yard. He kept walking, looking for the cat, not realizing he had gone too far from home. Then he stopped. The cat was gone. Andre looked around. Nothing looked familiar. His little chest rose and fell quickly as panic crept in. Mommy? He called again, but there was no answer. A cool breeze brushed his skin. He shivered, feeling scared. Everything looked different, and he didn't know how to get back home. Tears filled his eyes as he wandered toward the sidewalk, wiping his face with his small hands. He kept walking, hoping to find something familiar, but every house, every tree, and every street lamp looked the same. He was lost. Meanwhile, Zena finished her live stream, still smiling from all the compliments. She picked up her phone and walked inside, expecting to see Andre still asleep. "Andre," she called. No reply. A strange feeling spread through her chest. She checked his room. His bed was empty. She ran to the living room. Nothing. The laundry room. Nothing. Her heart pounded. "Andre?" she shouted, her voice shaking. She ran outside, her eyes searching frantically. No sign of him. Her hands trembled as she grabbed her phone and dialed David. "David! Andre is gone!" she cried. David rushed home, fear gripping his heart. Together, they searched the neighborhood, calling Andre's name over and over. Their voices cracked with panic. Neighbors joined in, checking every street, every yard, every corner. They searched behind bushes, inside playgrounds, everywhere. But no one had seen him. Finally, they called the police. "A missing child," an officer said, his voice serious. The word sent a chill through Zena's body. Somewhere out there, Andre was alone, scared, and far from home. Days passed with no news. Zena barely ate, barely slept. Every moment, her mind replayed that awful afternoon. If only I had checked on him. If only I hadn't been so distracted by my phone. David was just as broken. He hardly spoke to her, barely looked at her. One evening, his voice came out tired and cold. "I need time," he said. "Time to grieve, time to think, time to decide if we can ever fix this." And just like that, he sent her to her parents' house. Zena felt like a ghost of herself. She spent her days staring at old photos and videos of Andre, watching his tiny face light up in laughter, his little hands reaching for her. Each memory cut through her like a knife. One afternoon, as she lay curled up on the floor, crying, her mother, Mrs. Johnson, knelt beside her. "Zena, my daughter," she said softly. "David is here." Zena wiped her swollen eyes, her voice shaking. "Why? Has he come to leave me? To divorce me?" Mrs. Johnson shook her head. "He's here to see you." Confused and afraid, Zena slowly stood up and followed her mother into the living room. And then she saw him, Andre, sitting on the floor, flipping through a picture book, smiling like nothing had ever happened. "Andre," she screamed, rushing toward him. She grabbed him and held him so tightly, afraid to ever let go. Tears streamed down her face as she kissed his head over and over. "But how? Where?" David stepped forward, his voice thick with emotion. "A kind woman found him at the park. She recognized him from the missing posters and called the police. He was hungry and scared, but he's okay." Zena sobbed harder, holding Andre even closer. David exhaled sharply, his eyes dark with pain. "But Zena, it was too close, too close." His voice hardened as he looked at her. "I didn't tell you right away because I needed you to understand," he said. "You were so busy chasing likes and followers that you almost lost our son. You were living for the internet, but you nearly lost your real life." Zena's heart shattered at his words. She had spent so much time trying to impress strangers online, and in the process, she had almost lost the one thing that truly mattered, her family. Zena sobbed harder, the weight of guilt crushing her. Tears streamed down her face as she held Andre tightly, her whole body shaking. "I was selfish. I was blind. I almost lost everything," she whispered, kissing Andre's forehead over and over. "I swear, I will never let this happen again." David let out a deep sigh, rubbing his hands over his face. "Zena, I won't lie. I'm still angry. I'm still hurt, but..." He looked at Andre, then back at her. "Andre needs his mother, and I need you. But things must change. Drastically." Zena met his eyes, her own filled with determination. "They will," she promised. "I'll delete my social media. I'll put my phone away. I'll focus on what truly matters, our family." This time, it wasn't just words. It was a promise from deep inside her heart. She had been given a second chance. She wouldn't waste it. From that day forward, Zena was a different woman. She deleted her social media accounts, turned off notifications, and put her phone away unless absolutely necessary. She no longer lived for strangers on the internet. She lived for the people who truly loved her. Instead of chasing trends, she chased the little moments. Andre's laughter as he played with his toys, the way he snuggled into her arms when he was sleepy, the joy in his eyes when she read him bedtime stories. She cherished the sound of his tiny footsteps running toward her, his sweet voice calling, "Mommy." She and David worked hard to rebuild their marriage. It wasn't easy, but they learned to communicate better, to listen, to support each other. Slowly, trust was rebuilt. They became a team again, stronger than before. And in those quiet moments, when she rocked Andre to sleep, when she and David shared knowing smiles over their son's giggles, Zena finally understood. This was real life. This was what mattered, and she would never take it for granted again. Zena never forgot the painful lessons she had learned. She finally understood that while social media could be useful, it could also be a dangerous addiction, one that had nearly cost her everything. She no longer felt shame about her past. Instead, she wanted to help others avoid making the same mistakes. She started sharing her story, speaking openly about her experience. She visited schools, talked to young mothers, and even attended community events. Her words were real, honest, and full of wisdom. One day, she stood in front of a group of parents and teenagers, her voice calm and sincere. She looked around the room, making eye contact with as many people as she could. "Social media isn't all bad," she began. "It helps us stay connected, share our talents, and even build careers. But here's what I need you to understand. It should never take away the things that truly matter: your family, your relationships, and the special moments in life." She paused, letting her words sink in. "I learned this the hard way. I was so caught up in likes, views, and followers that I forgot to be present in my own life. I almost lost my son because I was too distracted by a screen." The room fell silent. Some people lowered their eyes, realizing how often they too had ignored their loved ones